Hello sewers. Have you got a pile of hexagons that you're tired of sewing Y seams for, or you just don't want to do Y seams? Maybe you've got some pre-cut ones like these ones I've got, and I'm not a fan of Y seams and I've got a sore finger at the moment and I wanted to sew these. So what I've done is I've added to three sides of these equilateral triangles. Now if you add them to three sides, leaving a space in between, what you make yourself is another triangle. And when you have a whole lot of these triangles, you can actually make quite a nice quilt, big, small, whatever you want to do, cushion cover, bag, whatever. And you can spin these around and just decide where you want, things to be. You can make a decision if you are using two-tone. You might decide, oh, I'm going to do black and white, and this one will have the seams pressed in, this one will have the seams pressed out. But because I haven't decided, I've pressed my seams open. And because there'll be a lot of stretchy bits here, I'll actually use some glue basting when I put these seams together to sew, so they don't move on me. I find that's a bit easier than pins. So what do you do if you need those sort of triangles? Well, you could be, if you've got AccuQuilt and your hexagons have been cut with that. Now with me, I don't have full hexagons, I only have these half hexagon ones, but they make dies for equilateral triangles, and this particular one luckily happened to fit the hexagon that I had. But if you haven't got any AccuQuilt stuff or whatever, then you could take a piece of cardboard. Now this is the piece that came with the pack, and if you bought a pre-cut pack you might already have a piece of card or paper that came with it. If not, you can just lay a piece on top, your pre-cut on top of a piece and draw around it very carefully and then cut that out. And then what you can do to work out your equilateral triangle is just get a ruler and go from point to point. Now draw a line in half, okay, and keep going around point to point, there to there, as careful as you can because you do want it to be fairly straight. And then again on this one. You don't have to do this if you want. If I darken up that line for you, you can see another tessellating shape that you might want to play around with there. The parallelogram on the side, or diamond if you want to call it that. So you've got now two equilateral triangles there. If you draw again, you'll have 6 because that's what makes a hexagon. So what you do is you then check by cutting out one of these. So, thick paper's good. This isn't very thick card, it's not that hard. And you'll probably need to add some seam allowance to the side here. And it may not be a full 1/4 inch. Now, you've got 2 to play with. So if you leave one on here and cut out one, and you go, okay, I need this much seam allowance, you can then draw your seam allowance on there because you've taken only one off. I'm only guessing, this is not necessarily right, but then you have the option of drawing your seam allowance on there, and you could even square off your top, and you can see you've already got that bit there taken off to match the hexagon. So you could do 2 and then you've got something to play around with. Sometimes I find that you don't need to add a full, that's more than a 1/4 inch by the way. So hopefully you can see that. So you can make your own templates, which you would then get your big ruler, and you can use that. You can put it down on your paper and you can work out your first angle. You can put that in and then you can flip, check your distance, and usually then you can just keep going, or you can keep that stuck underneath your big ruler. So that's a way for you to make your own equilateral triangles to match whatever hexagons you might have. And then you've only got a straight seam. Be careful though, they're biases. Don't stretch them while you sew. And you can make it in rows, you can make it into like diamonds, and you can border it. There's all sorts of things that you can do with that, just playing around, doing a bit of improv piecing. Even stars.